As it turns out, thieves have hit
They were cowboys from hell who lassoed the metal world by the throat.
That was really extreme metal before people called it extreme metal.
There wasn't anybody out there that could touch us. We wanted to terrify people.
Pantera bludgeoned concert crowds, and led by guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott, partied even harder than they played.
Just to play the guitar, you have to get a couple cocktails in them.
It was out of control.
The only band that I've ever known that if you didn't drink, you'd get fired.
Pantera's brutal brand of metal forged a brotherhood. But by the mid-90s, singer Philip Anselmo's heroin addiction began to blow it all apart.
I saw him laying on the ground blue and people hitting on him and all this.
I thought I could do anything and there wasn't a damn thing that could beat me. I was wrong. I was wrong.
Then, in a single terrifying moment, it all came to a stunning end with the horrific onstage murder of guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott.
Stop, please. Stop shooting. You're killing all my friends.
Just like a cannon blast.
Now, put the pedal to the metal with Pantera.
We were a machine.
This is the story behind the music.
Don't underestimate the kid. You're crazy if you do. And I am the kid.
Come on, buddy. Step on back.
It's December 8th, 2004, and ex-Pantera guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott takes the stage at a nightclub in Columbus, Ohio, with his new band, Damage Plan.
It's just another night. We do the sound check, everything's rock ready for the show, you know, we're ready.
Then he got on the kit and he walked around the corner and fired off into the song.
At first, it seems like any other gig, but the 24th anniversary of John Lennon's murder is about to become another of the darkest days in rock history.
We couldn't have been more than 10 seconds into the first song.
When I looked up, I saw the guy coming across the stage. The first thought that came to my mind is that he was a cop. He wasn't in full throttle run. He was marching in. He was on a mission. And I saw him raise his hands up.
I had my back turned with the amps behind me, and I heard the noise.
Revolutionary riffs turned Dimebag into a heavy metal messiah. But his musical odyssey commenced nearly 3 decades earlier, when 11-year-old Darrell Abbott became a foot soldier in the KISS Army. He enlisted with his neighbor, Rita Haney, who years later became his girlfriend.
I mean, my first concert was KISS. His was too. I remember he almost cried because he missed Gene Simmons breathing fire because some old lady in the back behind us was all stoned and put her cigarette out in its hair.
KISS's Sonic Circus inspired Darrell to pick up an instrument of his own. On his 12th birthday, he got his first guitar.
The next thing I know, Darrell's standing in his room, got his guitar strapped on in a KISS outfit. Got his face all done up like Ace Frehley and the whole 9 yards.
Once he started playing, he was completely obsessed with the guitar. Took it to the bathroom with him.
As Darrell practiced power chords, his older brother Vinnie Paul bashed away on the drums. And in 1981, while still in their mid-teens, the siblings formed Pantera. The band's lineup was rounded out by bassist Rex Brown and vocalist Terry Glaze.
We started immediately jamming at Vincent Darrell's house out in the garage.
I got in the band, they said, you gotta wear spandex. I said, no way. But I eventually put on some freaking spandex.
There was wild stuff that went on in that house. Lots of things we weren't supposed to be doing. It was out of control. Vincent Darrell's house was party 24/7.
Pantera quickly became the kings of the Southwest spandex circuit, even before they were old enough to get into bars.
Man, we'd get calls from people, hey, we're having a keg party, we gotta have Pantera, man.
We were rock stars in that little universe that we were in. We were burning it up. A bunch of skinny little kids dressed like girls and spandex jumping up and down, singing about heavy, scary stuff.
They were arena ready before they hit the bars.
By 1986, inspired by the heavy grooves of Metallica and Slayer, Pantera shed their hair metal gloss for a more aggressive approach. Lead singer Terry Glaze's glam rock style didn't mesh with the band's new sonic philosophy and was fired, replaced by 19-year-old New Orleans native Philip Anselmo.
It was harder, it was edgier, it was walking more with swagger, you know?
They knew, and I knew right off the bat, the first time we had ever jammed, I had never played with a band this tight. I mean, these guys were stunning, you know, it was like, my God, you know, this is unbelievable.
He came down and we did a jam session together, and it was just like it all fell into place, you know. He had the same gig going on that we did at the time, the spandex, the spiked hair. He fit right in, you know.
Pantera had their new singer. Now they needed to fine-tune their image.
Around the end of 86 or 87, we kind of had a band meeting, and we just said, you know what, these magic clothes don't play music, we do. Let's just go out there and be comfortable. Jeans, t-shirt, whatever, and see where it goes.
By early '89, Pantera's fiery new demos ignited the interest of Atco Records, which sent A&R scout Mark Ross to see the band perform at a birthday party in Dallas.
These four guys come on stage, and they start spinning their hair. Like, oh boy, what are we in for here? But then Daryl just launches into one of his riffs, and then Phil opens that mouth of his, and this just roar comes out that just is overpowering from the get-go.
But Ross left the gig just 20 minutes into their set.
I think I turned around to Vince and go, he's split. You know, we'd had everybody come out and see us at a certain point. We were just like, so we got ripped.
All of a sudden, they start throwing birthday cake, and we start slamming drinks, and diamond racks are sliding around on the dance floor.
I mean, you couldn't even step on that floor without busting your ass.
As soon as we get done, the dude comes over to me, and he goes, man, that was one of the most incredible live bands I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, well, dude, how come you left about 30 songs into it?
I told them that, you know, I went to call my boss and say this was just unbelievable. We got to sign these guys immediately.
In the winter of '89, Pantera roared into the studio to record their major label debut. Released in July of '90, Cowboys from Hell served as a ferocious sonic blueprint.
You know, it was a whole new animal. Unbelievably powerful, it was undeniable, it was fierce as hell.
I was like, holy, you know, like, how did they do that? You know, how'd they go from here to here?
In the fall of '90, Pantera snagged the opening slot on a national tour alongside Suicidal Tendencies and Exodus. Though virtually unknown, the Metal Cowboys won over hardcore audiences with relentlessly intense performances.
We called that the Kill or Be Killed tour, and we went out and killed.
That was really extreme metal before people called it extreme metal.
We wanted to terrify people, you know.
Pantera slayed crowds across America and gave their touring RV a thorough beating in the process.
Bucket of bolts, 10 swinging on this thing, and it'd break down just every other night. The septic tank would fall out and everywhere, so a lot of fun.
Everywhere we went, we just barely made it from gig to gig. I actually drove the RV on that tour with Suicidal from Chicago to Minneapolis with no headlights.
And we got no headlights, and I'm like laying on the floor, like passing out, and he's like, oh, a car's coming, so I gotta reach down in there and put the wires back down to make the headlights work, and until they go by, and they're like, okay, and he's just driving, you know, by the moonlight, you know, and it's like, the car's coming up, lights, headlights, okay, okay.
At the end of the 6 weeks or however long that tour was, every single thing on this motorhome was broken. Everything. It was insane. We went up dropping that thing off in the middle of the night at the RV place we rented it from. Popped in the car, we drove off. Here's your RV back. Later.
After Cowboys from Hell, Pantera were poised to reach the heavy metal pantheon. But the rock-solid band would soon find itself on shaky ground. Next, Dimebag Darrell